David here with Figboot on pens, back again with another fountain pen review. I really enjoy reviewing pens from companies which are new to me. It really gives me an opportunity to learn about a new company or manufacturer or artisan and see what they bring to the fountain pen space. Today, I have for you a pen from a company which is fairly new called Fifty4T. And that is spelled 50, F-I-F-T-Y, the number 4, and then the letter T. I'll explain the meaning behind the name here in a bit. But what I'm going to do today is go over their Titan Ultem model. I'll talk about what I care for and what I don't care for about it. I'll show some measurements, size comparisons, and provide a writing sample. Thanks go out to Fifty4T for providing this pen for review. The company is based out of Ireland and was founded by a gentleman by the name of Roy Anderson. Roy is a mechanical engineer by trade, and the company was started back in December of 2023 with the development of their Titan model. So, in order to get a closer look at this intriguing offering, please join me over here at camera 2. The pen arrives in this very cool box. A lot of pen boxes are disposable, but this is certainly one that I will not dispose of and probably want to keep the pen in here. You can see it has the company name of Fifty4T. That Roy wanted the name to have something to do with the number 7, which is his favorite number. There's no problem having a favorite number. Mine is number 11. But just as an example, the reason why is because 7 factorial, which is 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 equals 50/40, which is where you get the name Fifty4T. And then also 7 times 8 times 9 times 10 equals 50/40. And, Fifty4T also pops up in Plato's dialogue laws as well. And so the name of the company is a play on Fifty4T. So let's actually get back to showing you the pen. And these pop open, and inside we have the pen. This is, let me set this aside, the Fifty4T Titan Ultem. And it's made from a number of different materials. It's made from stainless steel as well as grade 5 titanium, Ultem as well as Durham. Here at the top of the cap, I like that. Even though it's flat, you can see how it's flat. I do kind of like that optical illusion of the way that it's been machined there. It kind of gives it a little bit of life. The cap does angle up until about the very end, where at here you can see that it does say that it is a limited edition of 250 pens. Then there's, I'd say, a medium-sized step down from the cap to the barrel, which is straight for a little bit of time here. And this is the Ultem portion of the pen. And then it tapers down towards the end where we have a piston knob and then also a flat end with that same kind of optical illusion. The cap twists off with just a little bit over 1 rotation, and this is something really interesting. Underneath is a number 8 Jowo nib. It is a stainless steel nib, and you can see here it's engraved with the Fifty4T, and this particular nib is a fine, as you can see here. And then here we have the low profile feed. Now this could be an ebonite feed, or maybe it's the Delrin. I honestly not sure what portion of this pen is actually Delrin, but this is not a plastic feed. So one of those two. And then with just the low profile aspect of it is really nice. I think the combination of the large number 8 nib with the low profile looks fantastic. And we'll get to price point a little bit later and whether this pen should have had a gold nib on it or not. But I will say I really like the looks of this nib, and I think it's size appropriate, and I like the fact that it's a little bit larger. The section is concave, and even though it is metal, I don't find it to be slick or slippery at all. It transitions until the metal threads, which I don't find to be sharp, and if my grip rests on them, I don't find it to be uncomfortable at all. This cap does post. It does post rather deeply, but I will say it's not super secure. You have to kind of get it on there. That I would say this pen most likely is best used unposted. This cap is rather hefty, and so it does kind of backweight the pen a little bit when you do use it in this manner. But in the grand scheme of things, now that I have it on there, just a second here. Okay, yes, I would say do not post this pen. It did not want to come off there, so I believe that it is not designed to be posted, which is perfectly fine. But one of the innovative things about this pen is the unique filling system. Now, it is a filling system that is similar to ones that have been used on like the Conid bulk fillers and, like I say, the Gravitas Cusado models. But it is a bulk filling system where you untwist the piston, and then you pull this back. And I've recently inked this, and then it has a little bit of dirty water in there. We'll ink it up here in a second. But what you do is you go ahead and pull this back. Once it's pulled back, then you go ahead and unscrew. Well, I didn't quite get it. You have it in there, and then you unscrew, and then you screw it back in, and then there'll be ink here in the chamber. And actually this seals off, the piston seals off the main chamber from the inner chamber, and so you would want to crack that if you want to refill up your section. So you know what, actually let's go ahead and ink this up and I'll show you how it looks. The ink that I'm using here is a Eversharp Walberry. And so we pull this back and we tighten this up, and now you can see the piston knob goes down, and then we go ahead and insert it into the ink. And I'll try to do this on the side so you can kind of see it go up. But you can see a significant amount of ink gets in there. And let me go ahead and clean this off before I attempt to shut it. But then when you shut it, you twist, and I know you really can't see what's going on inside, but I'm disengaging this, and then now that I'm pushing this down, no ink is coming out because it's just the piston knob that is going up as opposed to the actual piston itself. And let me go ahead and wipe this off. And then let's cap this and get rid of this ink before we have any mess. And now you can see the pen is inked up. And just on one fill, it got a significant fill. There's a lot of piston fillers where you almost have to kind of do it once or twice in order to get a full fill. But this, I'd say, is literally like 85% to 90% full just on that one fill. So let's go ahead and take a look at some measurements, and then we'll come back with the size comparisons as well as the writing sample. So in regard to size comparisons, with some other Ultem pens, this is with the Kasama Una. And I know the Ultem comparison doesn't look that great now, just because when it's inked up, you don't really see that amber material. But here it is with the Inso Italia Ultem. And then here it is with the Shown Design Ultem. One thing I really like about the Shown Design Ultem is that it's a rather small pen, but you can affix it with a rather large number 8 nib. And here I have a Bach titanium nib, which is really nice. But I really like the idea of having kind of a small pocket pen with a huge nib. And that's what it looks like in comparison with the Titan Ultem. In regard to some non-Ultem pens, here it is with a Leonardo Momento Zero Grande. And then here it is with a Sailor King of Pen Pro Gear. And then here it is with a Conid bulk filler king size. And this kind of has a similar filling mechanism where you pull it back, then you screw it in, and then you push it down. Maybe this just gave a better look at it. And then you pull it up and unscrew and then screw it back in. It's essentially the same type of system. Maybe it just gave you a better look at it here in this pen since it isn't inked right now. Oh, but that's what it looks like in comparison. In regard to uncapped comparisons, this is what it looks like with the Kasama and the Leonardo Momento Zero Grande. And then here it is with that Conid bulk filler king size. So here we have the writing sample for the 54T, and this is the Titan Ultem. And this is a fine stainless steel nib. And the ink that I'm using, which I already showed you, is the Wall Eversharp Wallberry. This is what the ink looks like. It's kind of a nice lighter purple, not super saturated. This is what it looks like in comparison to a Visconti blue, as well as Wall Eversharp's Everberry. And I showed it to you before, but that's what the unique bottle looks like. Okay, and here we go with the rest of the writing sample. I will say I do care for this Jowo number 8 nib a great deal. I think it's very nice. You can get a decent amount of flex out of this very large nib. I'd say that even for a fine, that the ink flow is rather generous in regard to some reverse writing. While it's fairly smooth, I wouldn't say it's a strength of this pen. And then in regard to some fast writing, the feed keeps up very well. Okay, in regard to price, the price for this 50/40 Titan Ultem is 640 euros, which currently equates to about 740 US dollars. While I feel the performance is very nice and that it is a very well-made and well-built and well-engineered pen, it's getting difficult to justify that price without a gold nib. But then again, with the build quality of this pen, if there was a gold nib, then maybe it would be bringing the price up into like the $900 range, which I feel would maybe be a little bit too much for this offering. So maybe there was some compromise that took place there. But as I'm using it with the writing sample, I'm not necessarily missing a gold nib because I do like the performance of this number 8 Jowo nib. But there are some people that are just going to kind of look at the price tag and feel automatically that should have a gold nib, and at times that could be justified. But overall, the performance is outstanding of this pen, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what the 50/40 team comes up with next. So until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later.